What's up, guys? It has been with 2020 election predictions, and today I'm going to look at a host of different models and the percent chance that they have President Trump is going to win. So, and Joe Biden as well. Typically, what I do is I just kind of felt that this map. This is where I see the election 7 days out. We're only 1 week away. It's getting crazy. It's going down to the wire. So this is what I say. And there's a lot of things that influence kind of where I see this race. The polls, the early voting data, voter registration number, trends, the betting odds, the campaign spots, the advertising money. I mean, I don't have my own model, but I mean, this is just kind of where I think the race is right now, and you're free to disagree. But please leave a comment telling why you explain why. So I have it as 248 to 290. And I would say if I had to give a percentage chance on each candidate to win, I would say that Trump wins in 25% of the times and Biden wins in 75% of the time. So I'd say that Biden probably has a 3 times better chance to win. And the where Trump would win is if the Rust Belt polling is wrong. I think if Trump wins 2 out of the 3 states, then he wins, or even 1 out of 3 states and Arizona. So it's definitely possible. I think this would probably happen in 25% of scenarios. But let me kind of look at some of these models. The first one is FiveThirtyEight, which gives Trump about a 13% chance to win. So going back to 2016, the people at FiveThirtyEight and Nate Silver had this map up, and on election day, it gave Trump a 28.7% chance to win, I think. So almost a 29% chance. And this was the highest out of all models. To me, we're calling Nate Silver crazy. But then after the election, even though like technically FiveThirtyEight and other forecasts all got it wrong, Nate Silver says, look, we are the ones that got the most right. And he isn't even willing to kind of do a map now because he thinks it's misleading and kind of shows that only one candidate to win. But what Nate Silver's trying to show kind of in this graphic is that in 13% of scenarios, so 13% of the time, let's see, like it's the chance that a PGA player makes a bogey that a Trump wins. So definitely not impossible, and that's really how we have to look at these things. Trump to win is not a lock. I know some people betting on this race. You're not guaranteed to make the money, but I do agree. I think that the betting odds are definitely a little bullish on Trump. But it's hard for you to kind of hedge both ways. So right now, looking at it, they have Trump. The only disagreements that they have in this model is they have Biden winning Florida and North Carolina, which obviously doesn't really change the outcome. Biden would still win regardless. And in some of these states, their margins are a little different. So Arizona is pretty similar, but they have North Carolina and Florida going to Biden. Well, I have them going to Trump. And then I still have Arizona, Pennsylvania, and all these Rust Belt gates going to Biden. And I would say that like my Rust Belt margins are pretty similar. So this is within about 5. They would consider these likely states. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than this, but that's why I say that I would say that the FiveThirtyEight model might be a little bit biased towards Biden. So that's why I see it maybe at a 25% chance for Trump. But I do kind of respect Nate Silver. I follow him on Twitter, and I do think that a lot of his thoughts are pretty sound there. So next up is going to the Economist model. One thing I do think is pretty interesting is like this is kind of the only model that goes back far enough to where they actually had Trump winning. So I mean I do kind of respect this model from going all the way back and actually have Trump winning, because there's no models right now that have Trump at like an over 50% chance or ever did. So that's why I'm a little bit suspicious of these models. But to their credit, the Economist model did, and I mean this isn't to say that models should be playing both sides, because I mean they really shouldn't. They should only kind of look at the data. But I question this right now, and this makes me kind of remember back to 2016 when kind of the Princeton model, a lot of these other models had a 95 to 5% chance. And I wonder why Nate Silver's model have Trump at almost a 3 times better chance as the Economist model. I mean, I I don't really know their exact methodology, nor am I smart enough to kind of understand what all goes in. But just kind of using my judgment here, I don't agree with this model. Um, I don't think that Joe Biden's going to win Georgia, Ohio, or Iowa. I do agree that these states are going to be close, but I mean, just looking at the historical returns, especially in Iowa and Ohio, I have a fair amount of confidence that these are states that are going to vote for President Trump, and it's mainly based on the margins that Trump won in 2016. The polls do have it at a pretty good toss up right now, but um, I I don't entirely. Oh wait, so okay, this does have Trump up. Um, Interesting. So, and I mean, even the polls definitely have Trump in the lead there. So I don't understand because all we need is the same polling error that we had in 2016, and Trump wins. So I thought that the economists might kind of tweak their model a little bit, but I really think this 5% is very very low, and I estimate Trump chances are about 5 or 6 times better than this. Looking at the JHK forecast, this is honestly tracked Nate Silver's model pretty closely. Obviously, it's not a copy of this model because this model came out first. At least in 2020, it did. And it kind of looks a little bit like the Economist model in terms of Trump's chances going down, but this model never had Trump winning. Um, the thing that I don't necessarily trust about this model is like just going from the Senate to the presidency. So in Iowa, they give Joni Ernst a better chance of winning than Donald Trump in Iowa. I don't necessarily think this is going to be true. Same with Georgia. They have Joe Biden up in Georgia, but they have both Senate elections, Kelly Wolfer and Doug Collins, going to the Republicans very narrowly. I mean, it's entirely possible, but just and I'm not looking at all the discrepancies right now, but those are kind of the most obvious ones that stand out. But yeah, but and like I think I was to the right of Ohio, so I don't really know what's causing the difference here. Maybe the Senate race is having an up ballot effect. But Iowa voted 1 or 2 points more for President Trump in 2016. So I mean, it's just I don't know. Um, I don't love this model, but it's all right. This is a pretty interesting model, the plural vote. I didn't put a lot of value into this model at first because, I mean, frankly, it's maybe part of it just because I'm ignorant and don't entirely understand this model. This model definitely gives Trump a better chance than any of the other models. They actually have him winning Arizona, which I think is interesting, but definitely entirely possible. And they have the Rust Belt fairly close, a lot closer than a lot of these other states. So, I mean, honestly, I would say that my understanding of these states probably, especially in the Rust Belt, is probably more like this model. What's very interesting to me though is that like Donald Trump has a better chance to win Wisconsin here than North Carolina, which I don't really buy. Or Donald Trump has a better chance to win Arizona than Georgia. So there are some discrepancies here, but I mean, hey, I'm gonna respect all these models because obviously it hasn't happened, and I don't have any exact foresight either. Um, Looking at the PredictIt model, so on the presidential level, oh wow, this actually just flipped a lot recently. I wonder what drove that. I mean, this literally happened in the last 24 hours. Um, Maybe a poll came out or some early voting news. So that's definitely interesting and something that I'm going to look into. But the betting odds and the predicted numbers have this race a lot closer. The betting odds have it Trump at about a 35% chance in the Real Clear Politics average. I think PredictIt not as great as the betting odds, just because there's a lot of fees involved. I don't think the volume is as high as some of these other things, but Um, this is basically exactly where I have it, except like different margins. I swear I'm not copying it. I kind of have all these states kind of in the lean Biden column, and this is just the total Republican column. So I guess you could argue that kind of copying the predicted model, but it's going to be very interesting. I think that this predicted model is going to be more accurate than any of the models. And so this would be very interesting if kind of the common thoughts of the American people would be, and which would include like amateurs like me. We might be smarter than the people at the Economist or at 538 or the JHK forecast, but you never know. And the last model I want to touch on is the lean Tulsa model. I think this model is a little bit ridiculous. Um, they have Biden up by like a 75% chance of winning Texas. I don't really think anyone really thinks this. And they have Trump at a 3% chance to win, so very, very low. If this were a 2016 model, definitely wouldn't age well. But I mean, and I just wonder, how do these models evaluate how accurate they are? If they have Biden at a 97% chance to win and he wins, I think people are going to say, oh, this model was the most accurate, even more accurate than Nate Silver. But I mean, that's not how you evaluate these models, and I'll be very interested about what kind of people say was the most accurate model, whether it's state by state or just predicting the winners in different like Senate seats or whatnot. So thank you all for watching my video. Please tell me which model you think is the most accurate, or whether you trust the betting odds, or whether you think Trump's going to win and you think everything's wrong. So see you all later, and please subscribe, comment. We're only 7 days from the election, 1 week away.